Welcome back to another Car TV vlog, guys. No, I am not doing an intro here because I accidentally deleted it off my laptop. So what we're doing today is basically stripping my whole interior. As you can see, my big fat butt in the background, and I just took a seat out. So I'm going to be walking you through step by step basically what I am doing here, so you're not just watching a boring time lapse with some music in the background. I just removed my fire extinguisher really quickly. That's what time lapses are for, right? Okay, so we're taking out the 4 bolts from the passenger seat, which is a lot easier to access than the bride rails. I felt like the rails were a little bit seized up as well. I need to grease them for when I put my new seats in. So now basically what I'm going to go do is I'm removing the dash. This is a little bit tricky. I cracked a lot of those shrouds. I'm not gonna lie, I make it look easy and very fast in this video, but in reality I did crack them and they are very brittle because of the sun. As you know, 180SXs have this notorious thing for just having a cracked dash. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually removing all the buttons, because without removing the buttons, basically what happens is you can't take out the dash. They are connected by a plug on the back. So I'm just removing my steering wheel here, removing some more of those plugs and buttons, putting them aside somewhere safe because I probably will need them again. Getting underneath the dash. I'm probably going to remove this cluster actually, and I'm starting to remove some shrouds, so just plastic everywhere, plastic, plastic, plastic. Remove all of those goddamn plastics. So many. Okay, all right, we're almost there. So just removing some of those plugs that are kind of like stuck onto that shroud as well. I think by a screw, to be completely honest with you. It's a little bit hard to see exactly what I'm doing without it zoomed in, but yes, there you go. That's the shroud that I removed. Okay. So now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing, because realistically speaking, this is my first time removing a 180SX dash. I have done the DC2, as you guys know, so it's not my first time kind of removing a dash, but it is kind of my first time trying to figure out where all the bolts are for this specific make and model. So in those little button holes, there's actually some screws that I highly recommend you get a long screwdriver, but also like a small-ish one to remove it. And also make sure it's magnetic, because losing those screws in there is actually really easy thing to do, to be completely honest with you. So without removing those screws, you can't really remove the shroud along with the cluster. You have to remove that. Then there's like one bolt and a couple of plugs for the cluster, and that is removed just like that. Boom! How easy was that? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll make it look easy. Really, that probably took me about 15 minutes. So now I'm just removing my 1980s head unit. Believe it or not, that head unit actually has a cassette player as well. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and remove my climate control unit, which I probably will be putting back in the car. Alright, now basically what I'm doing is I'm just going to try to start to remove, you know, these little plastic things that connect to the heater core, the kind of air circulation. I'm not exactly sure what the scientific name for that is, but I'm removing some bolts for the dash. As you can see, there's my big fat butt again in the way, and you're going to see my undies quite a lot. I think my undies are going to be famous after this video, to be completely honest with you, and they are very, very loose and saggy underwear. So it's not the most appealing thing to say. I am sorry in advance. I really, really am. Alright, now I'm starting to figure out that we need to remove these gauges as well from my dash, because without removing them from the dash, I won't be able to remove the wiring. And yeah, so back at the heater boxes, FYI, I did remove my dash. It did take a little bit of wiggling, and my GoPro unfortunately did not record this. So it is out. Now I am just working through the absolute mess. I'm taking off that bar that goes behind the dash, as you can see. There's quite a few bolts involved. I wouldn't say it's rocket science though. There's probably maybe about like 8 to 10 bolts to remove it, and they're quite large as well, so it's very hard to miss. So now I'm just removing it, as you can see, and also removing some of the bolts because the heater core actually does attach to that bar as well. So just making sure that you're obviously like unscrewing it or unbolting it from there, making sure you're getting rid of all those cable ties that are clipped to that as well, because there's a lot of those like clippy cable tie thingies that basically run the wiring on it, which yes, in effect does make it better from stock, but in reality it's just messy and frustrating. So that's probably going to be all changed, and there you go, it is out. Now we are going to open this, and I will walk you through why I'm about to open it, because we want to get rid of the AC in the bay. So here I am opening it all up, and I will show you guys the next step in just a moment.
Okay guys, so basically what's happened is I have taken the AC core out of the dash, and what's happened is I've actually taken the core out because I still want air to flow through it. I don't know if it will work without this because this passes all air through it, but because I'm not running the AC, I don't want those little nozzles in my engine bay, so I'm just taking the whole unit out, and it gets rid of all the pipes, and now I'm just gonna get rid of all that dust and stuff that's in here. Oh my gosh, that just went straight back at me. Alright, I think that's good. That's a lot of dust, man.
Okay, and we're back. So now you can understand a little bit why I've just removed that core, and I'm just cleaning it up because it's gross. It's nasty. Basically just screwing everything back on. It's really not rocket science. Definitely do recommend this if you don't want those pipes in the bay. I mean, you can just grind them off, but at the end of the day, you know, if you don't want to destroy that aircon core, then this is the way to do it. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll figure it out. Okay, now I'm removing another fan box, or I think this is a fan box. It looks like it's got some sort of fan in it. And I think there's a couple of bolts on the wall, and it's very awkward to work in this position, I'm not going to lie. Now I'm removing this big heater core, man. This is huge in comparison to the other ones. And it was a little bit trickier, I felt, to be completely honest with you. It's got all these plastic shroud things with like pipes. Honestly, I didn't see this in the DC2, so I don't know why there's these pipes. Maybe it's so that it goes to the little vents on the top of the dash. That's my assumption.
What's going on? Here's a quick update. I'm up to, basically as you saw, strip the whole dash out. Just up to taking this heater box out. I don't think I'm going to take the steering column out, maybe. It just depends on how inconvenient it is when I'm spraying the interior. But yeah, basically I took the whole dash out to get the wiring out of the bay. But regardless, it needs to be taken out because all of this needs to get sprayed. It's pretty bad actually. This carpet's horrible too. I'm going to run no carpet and just bring floor mats when I do drift days.
Alright, we're doing some wiring, how fun! Now basically I'm just removing some of the wiring from the inside of the vehicle, and there's a whole ton of wiring on the steering column that I don't like. It is not my friend. It's very ugly, messy, and yes, lots of clips, lots of cut skin because of those clips, so it's not exactly, I'd say, the most exciting part of the video, but it's necessary if you want to spray everything inside and, you know, just have things a little bit neater for when you're working on sanding the interior and getting rid of the sound deadening. There's just none of this tedious little stuff that you have to deal with. So again, just pulling things out of the way, getting rid of some of those ignition plugs, and I'm pretty sure this has some sort of SRS potentially. If it doesn't, well, most of my cars haven't, so it doesn't matter. Here we are, more wiring. More wiring, more wiring, it never ends!
Everything's pretty much out. I'm just going to take off the carpet and also take off that little leather thing as well. I think if I can keep the column in here, I will, and just tape it up and just like leave it there and go around it. I just feel like taking the steering column out right now is unnecessary unless I have to take the rack out, and then I might as well just take the column out too.
Alright, we're on to removing some other parts that aren't a part of the dash. So I'm removing those little side step things as well. In a moment I will be doing that. I'm still just tidying up a few things. Yep, trying to get to the other side of the car. Crawling like that is not fun, let me tell you. It was very painful the day after. There's my undies making an appearance again. Thank you, Bonds, for making saggy undies. Okay, removing that old carpet. I literally couldn't breathe. It smelled like mold. I'm actually really glad I got rid of that, because that was some smelly stuff. Now I'm doing the domestic thing, cleaning and removing all that disgusting bits of carpet. While you guys are watching me vacuum, I'd just like to say a big thank you to everybody who is supporting me and continuously watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I will do my best to keep you guys up to date a little more often. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next Car TV vlog.